Hey everybody, it's Tyler Austin. Thank you so much for watching. So this is going to be a brief video describing my 100 round rifle range session number 1. This is just going to give you a brief description and a brief demonstration of all the drills that you're going to be doing, the round counts and all of that, because some of the drill names and stuff like that you might not understand what exactly entails. So this video is to go along with this range session, so that way you understand exactly what the range session entails. I do obviously have a PDF with everything listed on graphs, or on tables I should say, so wherever you're watching this, so if you're watching this on either my player or my Patreon, it will be attached, this PDF will be attached to this video, so be sure to click on that and actually download and print this up. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, the link for the Google Drive link so you can view and download this will be down in the description below. But obviously there is a PDF attached to this describing everything that you should do, along with other stuff. So some of the range and distances I left blank, so that way you can choose what range and distance you want to perform some of these drills at. Some of them have the ranges already listed for specific drills that I like to run, but obviously you can just scribble those out and write your own range if you choose to do it at a different range. If you choose to use a shot timer with this, I'm not going to use one today just for the sake of time and for the video, of course, but I do have a table, a part of the table where you can write down your par times or your shot timer times if that's something you choose to do. So like I said, this is going to be my first 100 round rifle range session. 100 rounds, so it's fairly low round count, so most of you should be able to swing this. So if you have more rounds that you wish to shoot, you could certainly just do more of the individual drills or do a higher round count, whatever. If you have less, you can just half this or whatever. But 100 rounds to me is a pretty good, it's not super low, but at the same time it's not real high, so most of you should be able to swing this. I plan on doing a lot more of these and posting a lot more of these, so definitely be sure to check out my player and or my Patreon for those. This one will be free and I'll post this on YouTube, but I definitely plan on doing a lot more of these for my Patreon and my player subscribers. So if that's something you'd be interested, definitely be sure to check that out. I also plan on doing a lot of these for pistols as well. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and run through this and I can show you and give you a brief description and demonstration of everything that entails in this range session. All right, so the first thing we're going to start out with this range session, and this is probably going to be the same thing for virtually all my range sessions, my rifle range sessions that is that we're going to start with ready up drills. To me, these are the foundation to all rifle sessions and all general rifle training too, because it's similar to basically the draw stroke of a pistol. Much like the draw stroke of the pistol is kind of like the foundation to virtually all pistol work and all pistol training, ready ups are the same thing for the rifle. So these will serve as not only a foundational thing and drill to train with a rifle, but at the very minimum, I use this as a warm-up, and I pretty much start every range session with a minimum of a few iterations of this. So I personally run through 6 different positions: high port, high ready, compressed ready, low ready, compressed low ready, and then low port. That's just kind of what I call them. People call them all sorts of different things, so that's not the purpose of this video. Either way, you'll see the positions and you'll know what I mean if you call them for some reason something else. The first run through, it will just be 1 round of each. Personally, I prefer to work top to bottom, but you can work bottom to top, whatever you want to do. So that's what we're going to do. So first thing I'm going to start with is high port, and a lot of times with high port, I actually start with my sabot hand off the rifle and low, because a lot of times this is what high port is going to be like, because high port is more or less like a staging position rather than like a ready position, although what defines a ready position is pretty vague, but you get the idea. So a lot of times you're coming off this after you're running, in a CQB context, a lot of times this is a staging position, whether or not you're giving someone a squeeze or your corner board, whatever. There's a bunch of different reasons why you'd be in the staging position. Either way, I personally will keep my hand off and I will drop the gun and bring my support hand up and meet the gun. But there's nothing wrong with going from here too, if you wish to do so. That is not the point of this video, but I ran a little rant there. So again, 1 round from high port, then 1 round at the rest of the positions. So let's go ahead. I personally going to be doing this at 10 yards, but I left the range and distance blank on the PDF so you can decide what range you want to do these at. Okay, so here we go. Okay, from here, we're now going to go to high ready. Okay, then we're going to go to compress ready. This is more of a CQB position. Okay, low ready. Low compress ready. And then finally, low port. Okay, so that's the first iteration. Again, 1 round. So in the next drill, it's the same exact drill, except it's going to be 2 rounds per position. So instead of 1 round, 2 rounds, but the same exact way, in the same exact drill. Again, you'll see that on the PDF. I won't show that in terms of time, but again, same exact drill, except 2 rounds in each position. All right, so after you've done your first and second iterations of the ready up drills, now we're going to add some movement to the ready up drill. So it's going to be the same thing, except we're going to be moving laterally, either right or left. Typically, I do one direction first, and I just do the other direction second as a second iteration, just to keep things simple, but you can mix it up if you wish. So the first one, I'm going to be doing my ready ups while moving to my right. I'll do my best to put myself in the best position possible, so that way you can see it. But again, it's pretty self-explanatory. The purpose of this video is just to describe it and give you a quick demonstration. You can take a few steps if you want and stop and then take your shots, or you could do it on the move too if you wish. I typically do them on the move, but to keep myself in camera, I might stop if I need to. But either way, it's pretty self-explanatory. Again, same exact drill, except as you're coming down and you're getting the gun on target, you are moving laterally to your right or left. 1 iteration's to the right, 1 iteration's to the left. So let's go ahead and I will demonstrate that. Again, I'm going to work from top to bottom. So that was high ready. Now I'm going to go to compress ready. Low ready. Low compress ready. And then finally low port. Okay, so you get the idea. It was a little weird because I was trying my best to stay in camera or not run into the camera. There's also a really weird ledge over there that I have to watch out to trip on. But regardless, that's basically what it looks like. Again, 10 yards. I'm personally doing these at 10 yards. If you want to make it more of a moving and shooting drill, I'd probably do a little bit closer. But you get the idea. All right, so after you've done your ready ups moving laterally right and left, the next drill we're going to do is going to be a basic standing to kneeling drill. So I have these set at 50 yards. I have it programmed in there as 50 yards, but obviously you have range and distance limitations. Just go ahead and modify it to what you need, or what your limitations are in terms of distance and range. Or you could make it farther if you want. Again, kind of up to you. But again, I'm going to be doing this at 50 yards. Again, very basic standing to kneeling drill. And I'm going to be shooting 2 rounds per rep, if you will. And I'm going to be doing 4 reps of this. You can start from whatever ready position you want, but here we go. Okay, and one more. Okay, and that's it. Pretty self-explanatory. After the standing to kneeling drill, now we're now going to move over to standing to prone. I personally have this programmed at 100 yards, but again, like I've said before, if you have range limitations, modify it to what you need. But again, this is a pretty straightforward one. Standing to prone, 2 yards per, or I'm sorry, 2 rounds per rep, and we're going to be doing 2 rounds of it. I'm sorry, 2 reps of this. Okay, so again, start from whatever ready position you want, and let's go. Okay, wasn't really happy with how I went into prone there, so let's do one more. YouTube's gonna kill me. All right, hopefully you didn't see that reload, YouTube, because RIP to my channel. All right, and that's it. Again, pretty self-explanatory. All right, so after you're standing to prone drill, we're now gonna put it together with something I call the 7 to 100 drill. I'm not gonna bother trying to demonstrate this because it's kind of a pain in the ass to do it on video, without a cameraman at least, but I have made a video on it in the past. It's one of my favorite drills to do, but I'll give you a brief description of it here and you should kind of get the gist on how to do it. You're going to be working from the 7 yard, 25, 50, and finally the 100 yard line. Again, if you have limitations, modify it to what you need. So you're going to start at 7 yards at whatever ready position or whatever you want. You're going to bring the gun down, and in this case, how I have it programmed, you're going to do 3 rounds. So 3 rounds at 7 yards. After that, safety on, gun up or down, whichever one you prefer. You're going to sprint to the 25 yard line. And again, bring your gun back on target, 3 more rounds. After that, safety on, gun up, gun down, whatever. Sprint to the 50 yard line. And from here, 3 more rounds. Now you can choose to do it standing if you wish, or you can go into the kneeling or prone. However you want to do it, it's up to you, especially at the 50 and 100 yards. So after you do 3 rounds at 50 yards, again, safety on, sprint to the 100 yard line, and 3 more rounds, either from standing, kneeling, or prone, whichever one you wish to do. So that is the 7 to 100 yard drill. Again, it's probably it's definitely one of my favorite drills to do, for rifle that is. You're gonna do 2 rounds of that. And again, 3 rounds at each distance. So 3 rounds at 7, 25, 50, and 100, and you're going to do 2 iterations of that. Again, 7 to 100 yard, or 7 to 100 drill. All right, after your 7 to 100 drill, we're now going to move on to the 5 at 5 drill. So it's going to be 5 rounds at 5 yards. So this is primarily going to be a speed type of drill. So we're looking to put 5 rounds in an acceptable area on the target. You can define acceptable in terms of how precise you want to be with it. I'll leave that up to you guys. But 5 rounds at 5 yards at a pretty fast paced with acceptable accuracy. So again, it's meant to be a really fast paced round count drill. We're going to do 3 iterations of that for a total of 15 rounds. Okay, so let's just go ahead. Again, you can do whatever ready position you want to do. I'm just going to do low compressed ready for this because it's kind of what I feel like doing. But feel free to use whatever ready position you want for this. All right, so let's go ahead. Okay, 2 more. That one was a little bit better. And 1 more. Even better. Excellent, and that's the 5 at 5 drill. All right, so after your 5 at 5 drill, we're now going to move over to some basic reloads just to finish up the range session with the few rounds we have left. So you're going to do some ready ups to some bolt lock reloads, and you're going to do 4 of those. So personally, how I train that, how I have it kind of programmed here, is you're going to start with an empty mag and an empty chamber. You're going to bring the gun down from whatever ready position you have it, click, and then from there, the bolt will be, again, bolt lock reload, so the bolt will be locked to the rear. Reload, bolt release, thank you brain, and then back on target for 1 round. And you're going to do 4 rounds of that. And then after that, you're going to do 3 rounds of ready ups to bolt forward reload. So the bolt will be actually forward, and again, empty magazine, empty chamber, bring the gun up from a ready position, click, reload, and then run the bolt. So again, ready up to bolt forward reloads. You're going to do 3 iterations of that. So 4 iterations of bolt lock and 3 iterations of bolt forward reloads. I'm not going to demonstrate those here because, again, it's pretty self-explanatory. I chose to do it at 10 yards here, but you can do it whatever distance you want. The round isn't necessarily the most important thing here. It's the reloads. I don't personally really focus on reloads a lot in terms of my actual live fire training, because to me that's more of a dry practice thing, and I don't really care to waste a lot of time doing a bunch of reloads during my live fire practice personally. But I do have them here just to, again, kind of finish up the range session, because we only have 7 rounds left at this point. So again, I'm not going to demonstrate this here because YouTube doesn't like reloads anymore. Apparently I already did a no-no during the demonstration of my standing to prone drill. You didn't see that, which is why we're moving on to player and Patreon, boys. I do plan on posting this first one on YouTube, which is why I'm not going to demonstrate it, but I plan on doing a lot more of these rifle sessions for you guys, which I plan on posting to my player and my Patreon account, so definitely be sure to check that out. So I hope this made sense for you guys, and I hope you're able to use this to further your training and to actually give your training and your practice some structure. Going to the range with no real plan is a waste of time. It's kind of like going to the gym with no program and no plan set in place. It's not really training, you're just fucking around in the gym. It's the same thing during your practice, whether that's dry practice or live fire practice. If you don't have a plan, it's better than doing nothing, but it can be a lot more effective and a lot more efficient use of your time when you actually have a plan, which is what these, I hope these help you actually have a plan when you go to the range, so you can actually really use your time efficiently and effectively to improve your skills. I did this in gear today because that's just what I had planned on doing in terms of my actual training on the range today. You don't obviously have to do this in kit. You can do it completely slick if you want. I did this because, well, for the LARP. But hey, again, hope you found this helpful, and I hope you do this at the range, at your next range session if you're training with your rifle. I hope you find this helpful. Thanks so much for watching.